Hello, everybody. It is Joe. Look at my big, goofy glasses. How about that? I have traded in my contacts temporarily for these big, handsome gentlemen on my face. I reckon I'll get used to how they look in a couple of days, but right now I feel like a goldfish with telescopes on his face or something. I don't know. If you see many weird faces in this video, that's why I'm getting used to something new. Anyway, this is Joe Neely. This is the Golden Hour. Behind me, you can see some gold. Again, I'm in one of my favorite places, Zephyr Park in Zephyr Hills, Florida, where I'm spending apparently a good bit of the winter. I have plans to move a little further south and do some exploring, but this is a wonderful place. It's really comfortable and started to, make it kind of a home. So I may be here for a while still. Um, we'll see. Still can't get used to these glasses. You guys will have to bear with me on this video. So I got hit by a car today. Brr. Of course, I'm totally fine. Um, just bumped my left upper arm. Well, car was just too close and hit me with their mirror on my left upper arm. They had luckily those fold-in mirrors. So the mirror folded in. I was fine. I was a little out of it. I kind of stopped for a second to get my bearings and then realized the car was stopped at the stoplight ahead of me. So I biked up there really fast to try to get their license plate number, but then they pulled away so I couldn't see them. Chased after them a bit, but not much luck with a bike chasing a car. So hit and run. No harm done. And I tried really hard to process my emotions so I wasn't feeling bad about it. And I've done a pretty good job. There was a part of me that wanted revenge. There's a part of me that wanted to get them back for hitting me, even though I was fine. I think it's good that I didn't get a hold of them, either by catching up to them and having some kind of argument, or by, dragging the police into the matter, because I really wasn't injured. I was just pissed that somebody got too close. So, part of me wants to be super zen about this, and part of me wants revenge. I'm starting to get to the middle where I can just basically feel, what is the word? I can feel like I can't get used to these glasses. Oh my gosh. The glare and everything, it's just going to be a while. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I feel two extremes, wanting to be very, very enlightened about this and wanting to be very, very upset and hurt people because they hurt me. So after, it's been 2 hours-ish, I've started to just kind of not care about it. And I think that's pretty good. I think this is a pretty good amount of time. I just feel like, well, that happens sometimes. My response to it is to ride just as I do in the street. If anything, go slightly further out. For some of you who don't ride bikes, this may come as a surprise, but the safest place to ride your bike is not right on the very tippy-toe edge of the street, but actually about a third of the way out into the lane. The reason for this is if you're out far enough, people can't try to squeeze between you and oncoming traffic. They actually have to wait for the oncoming traffic to stop, to go past, until there isn't any oncoming traffic. Then they can go around. So if this has taught me anything, it's to remember to go out in the lane a little further so that people who want to get around me have to make a greater effort to do so. People who want to get around me in a hurry or want to try to squeeze around me and then hit my elbow, well, that happens because I'm not enough out in the lane. So that's what I can control, and I'm going to work on, of course, what I can control. And that's that. I'm going to be a little more assertive when I ride. I'm not going to hide, nothing like that. I'm actually going to go further into the road, which may seem counterintuitive for someone who's just gotten bumped, but I know that that's the safer route to take. And I feel like my emotions are pretty well getting dealt with at this point. I am very proud of myself for being able to experience something like this, go through some natural emotional back and forth, but come to balance really quickly. I celebrated the golden hour today, just as I always do. I got my push-ups in, just as I always do. I even did some pull-ups. Did 3 sets, 4, 1, and 1, for those who care. I hope you care, because I care. It makes me feel good to tell someone, even if it's just a video. What I mean to say is that I didn't hold back on my arm. It feels fine. I don't think it's a problem. It's just a little bump. And there's no bruising. I think it's going to be negligible. Maybe I'll wake up, it'll be stiff tomorrow. Maybe it'll be just fine. Maybe nothing will be wrong at all. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but I feel great now. And like I said, I used it to do my normal push-ups. Did them in 5 sets, 80 push-ups in 5 sets. As you know, I'm working on getting it down to 4, and about every other day I do it in 4, and every other day I do it in 5. So, yeah, the trick when things happen is just to get back to normal, not to let them throw me off, not to let anything I witness or experience change me, and to continue to go about my day doing the best things I know how to do every day. Just go do those things, you know? So, I feel like I can see my reflection, the reflection of the screen in my glasses. Do you see it there over my right, your left eye? Do you see that? This is going to be really trippy. I reckon after a few days I won't notice it, but right now I could get that reflection over here, I get the reflection over here. Oh man, I've had contacts for a while, so this is a new experience, or the return of an old one. Anyway, like I said, getting back on the right foot, getting back onto the plan, because the plan is a good plan. You know, not letting stuff throw me off, not using any of this as an excuse not to do my daily habits, and just to get right in there and continue moving on. That's the very greatest thing you can do. You never know what any day is going to bring. Maybe it's going to be super boring and you'll just relax and do your habits, or maybe it'll be crazy. You never know. This really wasn't that crazy. So, you know, I'll just keep moving ahead. Another thing I want to discuss with you guys is the leading edge. Abraham Hicks talks about the leading edge of creation, that all of us are the new leading cutting edge of creativeness and creation, and that what she calls source is, you know, we're like the extension of it into the frontier. That is this world where we can create and discover things and have a good time. I'm not a big fan of the word source. That almost implies a bit of separation that I don't see. I really enjoy thoughts, religious and spiritual thoughts, that put people as close to divinity as possible, that put them all of us, in the same category as the divine, that we all are divine, that there's none greater or lesser than. People and people. No person is greater or lesser than another, innately. And people are not greater or less than the divine, that we're all one with the divine and with each other. That feels good and that feels right, that we are all together, one, many manifestations of one divine, or one all together. You know, I don't know, it's hard to talk about this stuff because, you know, it's new to me and I still don't have all the language, but Anyway, I like that word divine as long as we use it for ourselves and when talking about ourselves and not when talking about something outside of us. But, talking about us, the divine, it's us. We are the grown ups. We are the divine. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who make decisions and make our worlds. Each of us makes our own wonderful world. And we can enjoy when those worlds intersect, exploring the similarities and the differences and learning from all the people around us, with different beliefs and goals and agendas and things they want to create. Um, it's like going to your neighbor's house and seeing how they've decorated it and enjoying it and maybe learning something. You're not going to go home and change all of your decorations to match what your neighbors did. That would be creepy. Don't do that. Be an individual. Just experience other people and get a chance to see what their movie, what their life, their universe is all about. And then learn from it and make yours according to your heart. So, this one's a little less technical. I don't know that I have any new exercises to share with you. I do push-ups. I do tree pose, which is getting stronger and stronger. Like I said, I do some chin-ups. I enjoy art. Oh, here's a new one. I was going to say I enjoy forward fold and alternating that with leaning back. And I haven't talked much about leaning back. Forward fold, as you know, is folding over and basically trying to touch your toes. The trick is don't actually effort to touch your toes. Let your hands fall wherever they do. It'll be different every day. It'll be different at different times of the day. And just fold forward. Give yourself a opportunity to dangle. It's funny, after you do it for a while, if you hold that position for a minute or more, you can get to some spots where things will loosen up. Your body weight will pull on things and loosen them up. And you will fold, maybe an inch or inch and a half, 2 inches more than you kind of did at first. So I encourage you to do that with forward fold. At least hang with it for a while, hang literally and figuratively, so that you can get a real good kind of second wind. I don't know what to call it. Like, there's a point at which it comes out more. Anyway, leaning back, which you need to do after being forward for that long. Remember, one of the very most important things that I've learned from my yoga teachers is you need to always balance both sides, left and right. Do the same thing on the left you do on the right, and hopefully for the same amount of time. And do the same amount of forward and backward bending. You always want to loosen up in both directions. Keep your balance, keep your health. Just keep, from being out of symmetry, and, you just want to be healthy and avoid any weird habits like only working on one side. I can only imagine what being really loose on your right side and really tight on your left side would do to your body. That would just throw spine and stuff out of whack. I can only imagine that would be really bad. So don't do it. After you do forward fold, or before, do your backward bending. And for me, this involves letting go. It involves, putting my arms up, kind of like the branches of a tree. I don't put them up directly over my head, and I don't put them out to the side, kind of mostly up, but out a little bit, maybe 30 degrees. Anyway, yeah, I do that, and I bend backwards. And what I find is really scary is putting my hips forward, so that my hips are jutted forward, kind of counterbalancing my arms and upper body that are going back. This, of course, helps me keep my balance, and it also allows me to slowly bend more and more, so that someday maybe I can bend backwards. Who knows? That would be interesting. But the real idea is to let go of that pelvis and not try to keep it in line, but actually let it go forward, let it bow forward as everything else is going back. And that can be a little scary. I don't know if it's about falling over, if it's about other people seeing me, if it's just about I'm imagining myself leaning backwards. It's just about letting that part of myself, like I say, we all hold taboos in our pelvis and our first and second chakras, so maybe it has something to do with that we've been taught not to put that forward. But when I do, I find I can bend backwards more and easier and keep my balance. So work with that, work with those emotions and those physical motions. Maybe it won't be a thing for you. Maybe your emotions will be elsewhere. Maybe you'll have different reactions to it than I did. But I found that was kind of the point at which I'm working to create something better. That's the point at which I'm doing my best work. They call it the edge. The edge is that place in yoga that's where you're not pushing too hard to where you would hurt yourself or overwhelm yourself, but you're right next to that place. If you did any more, you would be in that place. It's right on that balance point where it's almost too much, but it's not. You've done a stretch, some kind of stretching a muscle, as far as you can without hurting it. If you went any further, you'd hurt yourself, but you went as far as you could without hurting it, which gets you to a good place. And there's this little spot in there called the edge where you can hang out and breathe and just let your body be in that place. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to think anything. Just be in that edge place for as long as feels right. So, I feel like I've given you some theory today, as well as my crazy adventures with the, little car bump. I don't want to call it an accident, because, it's not really. But, yeah, I created a little encounter today, and I think I'm just fine with it. So I hope you are fine with whatever bumps come your way today, and see the best in them, and wish the best to the other people. I certainly wish that those people in that car that bumped me have a great day. I hope that this encounter with me is a good one for them. I hope it makes them feel better. I hope that they will feel differently about bicycles, maybe be more cautious. Maybe this little bump with me means some other cyclist will not get hit by them. I don't know what the good outcome is, but I know that there are some possible ones, and I hope for them. I hope that the people involved in this encounter with me will have a good experience and learn from it, and I wish them the very best. So, as you can see, the part of me that wanted to make something good out of this has won, and that's fantastic. I will talk with you again tomorrow. This is Joe Neely. This is the Golden Hour with Joe Neely. You can check me out at joeneely.net/goldenhour, or you can leave a comment on YouTube underneath this video. So, however you do it, I hope you stay in touch. If any part of today's rant touched you or resonated with you, I'd love to know about it. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for putting up with me playing with my glasses glare. We'll get used to it sooner or later. But today it seems pretty silly. I love you all. Bye-bye.